Initiates for the flame. You are now programmed to drop dem draws. Have you been maintaining your flame?
Peace to the tribe and welcome to the Initiates for the Flame podcast. I am here with my host / co-host, my brothers, my business partners. How we doing today, team? What's the word? What y'all got going? What y'all cooking? And let them know how we coming tonight. Well, how we stepping.
Another just another moon day for that ass. It's been a productive Monday today. Moon currently in Aquarius, first deacon of Aquarius, 5 of Swords energy today. You got to get from up under your your negative feelings. You know what I mean? Because most of the negative feelings is coming from the ego unsatisfied, and we know that we're not an ego, we got one. And yeah, man, just here for another one. Excited. Moon day now available.
Peace to the tribe, man. Like you said, just productive day, seeing how everything work out without my effort. Just being patient, seeing how things unravel and unfold, then leveraging my relationships.
I feel you on that. Really just been staying strong, showing up for the collective, showing up for the flame, and really just, putting in that work. One thing I always was taught, if you don't put yourself on, nobody will. So I'm always let everybody know what I got going, and I try to make sure my dogs know what we got going. Because when it comes to initiative for the Flames, we always gonna have offers. We always gonna have deals. My boy Hood, I know he always got an offer in the deal. Breeze, you always can get it with him, get the same thing, and so on with Serpent. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta go ahead, see the links below, check out our websites, and we'll be able to help you with a lot, get you connected with the right people. But I'm gonna go ahead and hand it over to my dog Breeze because he always has something so powerful. And if you haven't checked out MoonDayMystic.com, then you really missing out. But check it out. This is this website where you can get the book with readings, understand the book deeper. And also, if you haven't got yourself a tarot deck, we have a package deal along with that. So go ahead, check it out. But first and foremost, Breeze, what's up, dog?
It's good. One thing I do want to say is shout out to Serpent, Racine for helping out with it. Because he created the whole website for me. I just didn't have the time to do it. But the beautiful thing about the initiates is that where one of us don't have the necessary skill set, the other one does, and we're able to really push each other further and lift each other up. So I appreciate all three of these brothers for that, without a doubt. And also, if you building a website, reach out to Serpent, because he'd be more than happy to help you. More than happy. Oh yeah. And he wrote an article based around the book and what it offers, and how it can be helpful to you. I just spoke him up.
Peace, Kings.
Peace.
Shalom, Hotep God.
Salam Hotep with it.
Walaikum salam.
Grand Rising, Grand Canyon, Grand Earthquake, Grand whatever. I don't know. Just Grand something.
Great Awakening. Great Ascension, Mike.
Sometimes I just go inside myself to come outside myself and get back with myself.
I forgot about that shit. Hold on, just wanted to get the major arcana cards.
Oh, I got you, bro. I'm already here. What cards you need?
So I was just pulling up the star card, moon card, and the emperor. those are the constellations that
Star card.
the moon is transiting.
Which card you want first? The star card, I guess.
Oh well, yeah. You're gonna pull them up. Go ahead. So first, I was gonna talk about this, and then you can bring up all three: the star card, the moon card, and emperor card.
Okay.
And just a little trivia for the people that's watching: the moon card does not represent the moon. The moon card represents Pisces, and the card that represents the moon is the high priestess. You may have known that. If you didn't, well. So once again, this is the moon chart. For this this 7-day cycle, trying to get out of saying week, because there's nothing weak about the days I spend in this realm. But today the moon is in Aquarius, the first decan of Aquarius, and it'll be there today and tomorrow, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday it'll move into Pisces, and then the weekend, will be in Aries. The cards that represent this transit or these deacons that the moon will be passing through is 5 of Swords, 6 of Swords, 8 of Cups, 9 of Cups, 10 of Cups, 3 of Wands, and 4 of Wands. And then down here, we have the meanings of all those cards. So once again, it's just about stacking the meanings, breaking it up in little pieces. It's a saying that reality doesn't happen in a vacuum. So basically, you can't just isolate one thing about your life and base your life around that. Just like you can't take the constellation of Aquarius and understand Aquarius and not apply it to Jupiter transiting Aquarius, or Mars making an aspect with Jupiter while it's in Aquarius. It's all about putting everything together in order to actually get some truth out of it. It's just like studying algebra. Studying each sign is like studying algebra, but when you put all this shit together, you're doing calculus, because calculus is able to tell you, how fast an airplane can fly and what altitude it can fly at without destroying itself. You get what I'm saying? But if you just study metal or you just study engines, you won't get that. You have to put all this information together to get some truth out of it, to get some usefulness out of it. So the tarot meanings, the keywords down here, that correspond with the cards that I just named out that are on the right. And if anybody got any questions, please put them in the chat. I love to answer them. So the keywords that correspond, and for this video, I took the keywords straight off of the tarot cards, the Thoth Tarot deck. You got defeat, science, futility, indolence, which is basically laziness, happiness, satiety, dominion, virtue, and completion. And then the major arcana is the star card, the moon, the emperor, which represents psychic abilities, truth or some type of confirmation, and then power. And then from here, I had a good idea of, translating all these card meanings into, an intention. I want to also say that it's very powerful to turn this into a journal prompt. So after you fill this out, you're able to journal about the type of week that you plan to have, and then just flat out how it's going. It'll give you more data, because this chart and the journal prompts that you would have after this chart is you filing data on yourself. Just like you are the book, you gotta take notes on yourself. You gotta have some type of data to understand the metrics of your life. understanding the cycles of your life. Because I know, you know, that you have moments where you like, the wind is at my back. It's nothing that I can't do. You know, I can't miss. And then you got moments where it's like, damn, man, I can't get ahead. You know, we are all on certain cycles, and it's up to us to, because saying I don't know my cycles is not an excuse. You know, it's just, I don't know is never an excuse. Maybe for a child, but not for an adult with a working mind and someone with a soul that's constantly trying to speak to you. So yeah, so this is like a journal prompt or intention that, you know, made sense to me from these card meanings. Um, the truth of the matter is developing your psychic abilities deals with a lot of failure and defeat, because when you make progress, it's difficult not to feed your ego, not to get, you know, like a big head about it, like, oh shit, I'm astral traveled, nigga, and now you on the phone telling everybody like, man, you ain't know the spiritual shit, you know, whereas you leave it behind, you know what I mean? Like, you're not practicing, you know, taunting people or bigging yourself up is not, it doesn't serve your spiritual development. Now, if you know, hey bro, check out this book, you know what I mean? This is the type of experience I had, you know, that's a little bit more of a healthy way to go on about it, more of a in alignment way to go about it. Um, and this is kind of like that Aquarius part of it, you know, and then I got, okay, it feeds your ego, because once you get into that mode of like, oh man, I'm the shit, you become lazy, you know, you become complacent, and you get to a point where like, I'm doing all these spiritual things, I'm rating my kundalini, but you're just doing it just to have talking points, you know, and that's not really the purpose. You know, the purpose is to find happiness, and finding happiness through adding value to the lives of others. um, and that's how you are able to access your power. You know, it's not about what you can make happen for yourself. You know, it's about what you can make happen for other people. You know, because with great power comes with great responsibility. And I think when we talk about developing our psychic abilities, we think about all the shit that we can do. You know what I mean? But we never we hardly often consider the responsibility that we're taking on, the responsibility that we are asking for. You know, like, it's easy to talk about, man, I want to, you know, an Escalade with Lamborghini doors, you know, with a V16 engine, you know. But just think about what it's going to take to maintain that. You know, you're going to probably have to put diesel in it. Niggas gonna want to steal your shit. It's gonna be so many things that comes with what you're asking for, what you're desiring. And I just urge everyone to really think about the problems that you're asking for, or the problems that come with it, or the responsibility that comes with things that you are desiring. Because I think that's what stops people a lot of times, you know, because it's once you really see what it takes to maintain whatever you're working on, whatever type of psychic ability, because it's not like when you activate your kundalini, you done. That's so far from the truth. It takes continuous staying in alignment, you know, because you will be challenged. That's another part of having that responsibility, like a superhero. Every episode, Superman is challenged because of the responsibility that he has. But yeah, any questions, comments?
So within the tracking that you was talking about, like you said, tracking your cycle. Sorry, I'm gonna fucking fly this box my ass. But tracking like your cycle, and I thought about it as in like tracking your health. Like, a lot of us don't really track how many times we go to the bathroom. We don't really track our sleep. We don't really track, you know, all these cycles that our body goes through, you know, that low key involves the moon. So, you know, I realizing, like, when I was doing my study on the moon, before they even went in your brain back in the day, you know, they was checking where the moon was. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like when you were saying tracking your cycle, I was like, man, there's so many cycles our body go through. So it's like it's so many apps that that can track that and help you out, where you can just write the data down along with your moon cycle. It's so many like I bet everyone has an Apple Watch, you know what I'm saying, or a type of watch where it's like they can interact with to do half the things. So I just like how you brought that up, and I kind of wanted to like talk about that part because it involves the moon. All that involves the moon. We just overlook it.
Right, and I think what you're talking about is like the what they call it, like the circadian rhythms. There's certain things that your body is doing. I'll see if I can find a chart, because there's a chart that a good chart that explains it. Let's see if I can search it. Something like this. So what time is it right now? It's about like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's kind of like the hour of the kidneys. So it's stored nutrients, build bone marrow, supper time. Let's see. The kidney is the root of vitality, storing gene, which is essence. Kind of look at that as like storing ashe, which fuels the body long term, energy and reproductive health. Eat a nourishing dinner to support the kidney health. This time is perfect for restorative activities like yoga, meditation, spending time with family. So it's really that right after work time. Most Americans are getting off of work or already off work around that time of 5 p.m. to 7. And also, your adrenal glands sit on top of your kidneys. So I would say that it's a time for what the parasympathetic system to take over. It's time to really, get into that part of your, I guess, your vessel. Oh, that's interesting.
And then this helps you get in the mindset of like, because this says Chinese medicine, right? And one thing the Chinese for, what do they do a lot, and other cultures too, but like I think it's just just modernized and just expressed all over TVs and shows, and just their culture that they always drink a lot of tea. So what you should think, getting your mindset is like, okay, like I should start having tea after my meals, because that's what they do. You know what I'm saying? So like you working with a certain tea
And they
along with
really
the
big
moon
on
cycle.
digestion too.
Right,
That's
exactly.
what you're saying.
Because that's one thing that helped me lose weight quicker over time. I was just drinking so much tea throughout the day, and especially before I went right to bed. So I always used to think like, man, like I bet if a lot of people had tea in their diet, they have an extra low key step to get rid of this weight. Because like that's always helped me personally. So like I can really test that. Like my like all my family and my mom's like, all you do is drink tea. Like, why do you drink it so much? I'm like, I didn't feel like getting so deep. I was just like, it's just something to drink. I'll be bored.
I like this chart, that's up. How it says, right now is the greatest cardiovascular efficiency and muscle strength. Then it follows like highest blood pressure, highest body temperature. Melatonin secretion starts at like 9 o'clock. And then at 10:30, your bowel movement suppressed. That's interesting because for people that eat really late, you kind of like putting your intestines through a lot of shit, point intended. um, so I would think that whatever you're putting on your stomach, between 9 and 10 is going to sit on your stomach, and it's not going to begin to digest until you wake up in the morning. You know, which isn't the best for brain function and all those important things. Um, because it says you likely to have a bowel movement at 8:30 in the morning. So your body not processing nothing in your bowels at 10:30 at night. So if you eating during this time, it's just literally just shit that's just gonna be sitting in you.
And that's why it's so important to wake up and chill your ogun, or wake up and drink lemon water, hot lemon water with honey, or drink teas that's going to help you move things in the morning. I remember one time, I was with a chick. I made her some tea in the morning, gave her some butterfly PT, threw that lemon in there, boy, it turned purple. Shout out to Columbia Shane. All I know is, like, she sipped the tea and she put it down, walked away. I'm thinking nothing else. She came back and said, like, yeah, I had to run to the bathroom. What the fuck you put in my drink?
It's funny. Yeah, no, it's funny because yeah, so I gave my girl some mugwort lemon balm, and she was just like, this tastes like wow, what the hell is this? Like, she was just like, no, I don't want none of that. I was like, just trust me, just drink it. So she drank it. Next morning, cleaned her out. She was like, man, that nasty tea worked. But I mean, to your point, AD, like the herbs are something that you can incorporate into your cycle. Because I'm pretty sure it's like an herb you can have in the morning, at noon, in the evening, and right before you go to sleep. That can really enhance the function of your body, so they can work optimally. Just like we were talking on the last episode about like hormones, and how the hormones relate to the different emotions you have. So if you can really get your glands in order, i.e., have the tribes of Israel united, they're able to work in obedience under your soul, for like a better word. Let's we got. Oh, you actually, AD, could pull up the
Which card you want first? I got them individually pulled up.
you could do like the star card, then the moon, then the emperor. Kind of just
Okay.
wanted to like look at the imagery on it and see what y'all thought about the imagery.
Pulling up.
And so one thing I wanted to add was like the intention at the bottom of the chart for the moon chart for this episode. It was really general because the houses, I can't do it based off of everyone's houses, but yeah, just a disclaimer. That's for the collective, not just me. Yeah.
It looked like a Kabbalistic symbol, um, where you got like Sophia in the middle, and the Kabbalah means to receive. It's like that cup. She's receiving spiritual illumination or some form of like consciousness. And then at the bottom, she's she's spreading her knowledge throughout the land, throughout the world. It's like a process of receiving and giving simultaneously, which is like one, getting you where you need to get to, and two, prioritizing the collective. Where this card to me is like you can't be selfish in none of your pursuits or any idea that you have. Like you have a fucking shoe store And you walk in, he's like, all right, I buy a pair of shoes. And the shoemaker like, nah, I only make shoes for myself. Get the fuck out of here. Right? And then never you will have a horrible bit. That's a horrible business model. So like really factoring in the collective. Where's the collective at? How can I assist within my wheelhouse?
Mm-hmm.
And then if I have no idea where to start, then you get into your Kabbalistic Christ consciousness and receive those supreme divine downloads.
And to add on to that, I like how you said you basically gave the key word of what Kabbalah means to receive.
Yeah, the star card makes me think of being a vessel of some sort, and all the things that you're able to like provide in a way is being given to you to give to others. Um, and that's what a true star is. Talking about what's up in the sky is something that's sharing what it has. Just like the analogy of the shoe store. I mean, it really don't mean that you got a shoe store if it ain't really helping nobody. Like, what you gonna do? Just go up in your shoe store, wear your shoes, keep the door locked. People like, damn man, you got some shoes up in there, man. Get away, get away! It's my shoes.
Be like, I haven't found nobody on the right level to buy my shoes yet. You know how conscious people will be like, ain't no conscious people in my city. You know what I'm saying? So I can't do my everybody around me not woke yet, so I can't sell my shoes. Like what? They not ready for this design yet. Like, okay, that's what's going on.
When in reality, it's a shoe. It functions the same, just like our purpose in a way. We got different purposes, but the function of our purpose is to influence others. Is to provide some type of service or some type of help to others. So, but it's a real thing with like getting out your own way. Because you'll have a little bit of success and like you say, Hood, like being in your ivory tower, like shit, I'm good, you know what I mean? Whereas the whole world going to shit, and you may have had a special key that could have started a domino effect, you know. Yeah, man, the star card.
No, the star card is really a beautiful image too, because as you can really see, I like how with the tarot, you're always going to find this, like with all the images and the cards, you're going to find like the one thing that all the cards have in common, and they're all showing you the same thing in a different way. Just how like music and everything is expressed, it all comes from one thing. But this card, you can really see ASO above, ASO below, and as many other cards that show that is the Hierophant card. You got another card that's the Musician. So just seeing that aspect that explains that, the ASO above, ASO below, we have to really understand, it's always going to be that other side to things, the other side of the grass. But being able to see through the duality of it and balance through it, because working in the community, you're going to see a lot of different people, a lot of different things. And as an Aquarius, when you experience a lot of different people, all you're going to sometimes is just feel like it's two sides of you're going to be egotistical. You're going to be like, oh, I'm so connected. I got all these people that like me. And the other side of it is going to be like, man, like, I'm in a small world, but it's so many people that's connected that I can really tap into. So it's just like just seeing that all together with this. It's kind of like really awesome. But I just like that. I just wanted to explain that one thing about all the tarot cards kind of share that same dualistic image that they express. With ASO above, ASO below.
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
And how this card show up in the moon tracker? Like, what was this one card speaking to?
I would say this one card is speaking to, like I was saying, like with the psychic abilities, the Five of Swords, Six of Swords, and Seven of Swords. Just going through that progression of, you know, I'll say it another way, like feeling stupid and then doing a little bit of the work and feeling like you just the smartest person ever, you know, and
Especially
then
with that
being
Six of
that,
Swords.
yeah, with the Six of Swords, that's doing the work and really getting results. You know, that might be the most positive sword card, you know. Um, yeah. And then the Seven of Swords is kind of like you being met with like the reality of it, you know. Because I think it's based around, you know, Five of Swords and Six of Swords. It's based around you being in your own head, you telling yourself stuff, you know, and it's kind of like you get some things right, you get some things wrong. But once you begin to share, you really see that you're really just wrong about everything. At least that's how I feel, you
Well,
know. Until
um,
you able to really share it with people and be able to be corrected and not be mad when you get corrected, you know, or you know that kind of thing.
facts. Like to like really piggyback off that. There's this where you're speaking to that. That's where this transit shines right here with Moon opposed Mars. Because the Moon is like, I know it's not like on like the 7 or 6 per se, but the fact is it's in 5 in the feet. But you just have this energy of tension with Mars and the Moon, because I also have this in my natal. So it's like a lot of people try to argue me when I'm like frustrated or whatever, and they like to call me sassy. And I'm like, y'all just like to use that new gen word to classify men. I'm not sassy. I'm argumentative at a point, yes. But what I'm saying is that, with this transit, you might feel frustration. You might be in your head, like Bree said, but it's like you really have to give yourself clarity, because remember with oppositions, it's always going to be tension and harmony. But with that same intention, you got to think about as so below, as so above, as we just said. So it's always going to be the other side that you can really um, juice or prosper from, that you never see or that you never tap into. Like the tree of life always says, it's the roots have to go down into the ground in order to reach heaven. Carl Jung said that, so I'm paraphrasing it. But that speaks of the tree of life and the quill off. So you have to see both sides of everything to really get through that middle path that we really have to stay aligned with.
Yeah, Shay. Yeah, because when I think of Mars, I think of like for one, it's definitely creative energy, sexual energy, but it's also that it's also testosterone. You know, it's that part of you you know um, that's not going to back down no matter who's in front of you. You know what I mean? Even when it's obvious that I can't beat LeBron James in a basketball game 1-on-1. But it's showing up like it's just showing up like I don't give a fuck who he is. That's what Mars is to me. You know what I mean? Just being so comfortable with yourself and accepting yourself. Whereas the moon can be um, very like bratty in a way sometimes. Like very resistant to what's in front of them. The moon is very imaginative in its own way, very dreamy in its own way. Whereas Mars is like, get up and move. We got something to do. That's what I get from that opposition. You know, um, you got to reconcile that.
Yeah.
Because
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, I was gonna
No.
say that because that's the Five of Wands opposed to Five of Swords. So
Mm.
you could tire yourself out. You could be so tired that you don't want to do nothing. And it can be expressed as Five of Swords. Or you don't got the energy to do all the things that's on your mind.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Because AD was talking about the middle path, and the five really represents the middle of the. So from 0 to 9, five is the middle. So it's like in the chart is the liminal space or the transition space. So Moon opposed Mars and those deacons is the aware. You either have the awareness that things are changing, and you're just figuring out how to do the maintenance, or you want things to stay the same, and it's you in a negative disposition because you want things to stay the same.
Even on the gas. What the
And pass that shit, nigga.
my fault. Y'all thought that shit was muted.
You super selfish ass nigga. Like, the fuck is you doing, bro? Like,
So it's like five of air. That's like defeat. When you think about defeat, a mental defeat, you like, damn, I'm the only person that got to go through this, or everybody have a certain level where they got to recalibrate, restructure, and approach it the right way, which is more in line with doing the shit right versus I got this idea, I'm gonna just go balls to the wall, and whatever obstacle come my way, I'm just going to blow it down. So Mars opposed Moon to me is like a gateway or a way to restructure this shit. Because I was looking at it like more like in a realistic sense, like want to start like a bar, like a herb bar and shit like that, and getting like the storefront and all of that type of shit. Like I just woke up this morning and just put all of the pieces that I had, like all of the contacts that I had, everybody that I knew, and got some shit in motion type shit. And I was like, that make me think about Moon opposed Mars, because it's like, yes, I want to have my own business, but I want it to be mushrooms. But maybe it ain't time for mushrooms. Maybe let's start with the herbs and figure out the mushrooms later type shit. That's how I was looking at it. Make, making those adjustments
Yeah, that's
is
fire.
more stable than not making adjustments. But you will look at it like, damn, I gotta change it. That mean I lost. But did you lose though? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That was me shit. Right, Moon Day. Some
Mhm.
stuff I had to change, if I really wanted it to be practical, like the title say.
Mhm.
So yeah, I agree, and that's the hardest thing for an ego to do. Like, let
Yeah.
go, bruh.
Mhm.
It's like, no, this is my vision. This is, it
Right.
kind of reminded me of randomly episode of Girlfriends where Tracy Ellis Ross, Joan character, started it was like a bar after hour spot type of thing, and she wanted to be elegant. She wanted certain people to be up in there. And it started booming when William had a bunch of people in there and they turned it to like a sports bar. But it was booming. Like, people was in there every day, and they were spending less money because they wasn't buying all this expensive wine and food and stuff to impress people. And she was salty. Like, she was really mad and salty that it wasn't what she thought it was. But it's like, your business is more successful than you would imagine it being. Um, and it really took her the whole episode to be like, this is what it is, you know what I mean? This is what it was meant to be, not what I wanted it to be. And I think sometimes we get so caught up in how we want things to be that we miss out.
Facts.
You pull up the moon card, AD.
I got you. And just to, like, add on one thing as I'm pulling this up, I was um I was thinking about change and just like seeing how things were changing, like what Hood was breaking into, and I'm just like, man, like I can really like think about and even just times in my life just how much we didn't want things to change, and we stay stuck in the past or illusion, and then so much time has gone past us. Like, I think that's like really powerful that we can do that to our minds, because it's like, imagine if we stood in the present, or sometimes went into the future, or when we go to sleep we go to another realm or so. But let's get into this moon card.
So
Uh,
for the people in the back, are we saying that the moon is the heart and Mars is the will?
Mars definitely is the will, and I would say, yeah, I would say Mars is like the will, and the moon is like your capacity to be motivated to do something, or to be not so much motivated, but in the mood. 'Cause I look at
Okay.
the moon as very moody, very moody. Like, depending on your emotional state, you could be up to do something or not. That's what I would say.
So basically getting your heart and your will to cooperate with one another. Okay.
Hmm. 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 The reconciliation between them. Yeah, because your will is like, I'm gonna get up and do this. You know what I mean? Like, nothing gonna stop me from doing this.
Which is good, except when you crashing out and you don't need to do that shit. Then it's
Or
detrimental.
when you don't necessarily possess the capacity to work in tandem with one or the other, especially with your moon being opposed. Like the it's like an alchemical furnace. If you got an impulse, a strong impulse, you're gonna act on that immediately if you don't have that thing in tandem with the will.
Especially with that Mars and Leo. Like, how many people on them, going to them dating sites trying to thrash them, you know what I'm saying? Like, that Mars and Leo, gotta be real.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept because Mars, like I remember just being horny and wanting to like fuck on hoes and shit. And now, like I retrospect on it, like damn, I didn't need to do none of that shit. But it's like when you incorporate other planets within your dichotomy, it's hard to just be Mars centered. But it's a millions of Mars centered men, and so the common conversation is all men want to do is fuck. But it's like once you progress, you be like, no, that ain't true. But then you got
Hmm.
to be honest, like you had them phases where all you wanted to do was fuck. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Oh
damn,
yeah. Oh
Hmm.
yeah. Especially if you're one of those people who didn't get it often, right?
yeah, if it didn't come to you,
The first time you got a chance to get it and get it in excess, oh, you wasn't going to turn that down.
how you gonna say no?
Yeah,
Hmm.
especially if you coming from a scarcity standpoint, you know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't gonna have no moral aptitude to go with, oh nah, I'm not gonna take this box now. I ain't been getting no box.
Like a dog watching somebody eat a sandwich.
Yeah, kid in a candy store, But it's like how you gotta really discipline that Mars, man, because it's no turning back a lot of times from crashing out or let like Mars within itself is just completely destructive and totally anal. And it's like you can do so many things that I've done. I can't. I wouldn't say yeah. I should have did it anyway. It was a learning lesson. That's stupid.
That's dumb as hell. Like,
You got a
Right.
finite amount of days. You don't got a
yeah,
limited amount of days.
Right.
Do whatever.
yeah.
You better
Yeah,
be
that idea that
shit.
that idea that I could get it together later is hogwash, nigga.
Yeah, that's
No,
why I
nigga.
tell every
That's so
20-year-old
destructive.
it's stupid. Yeah, I'm young, so it don't matter. Like, dog, don't think like
Yeah,
that.
it reinforces the procrastinating mind.
Yeah, like your ancestors, like people always be like, hey, do you be talking about ancestor stuff, bro? How you know it's real? How you know your ancestors really working through you? Your ancestors, like, you got your mail going to your grandma's house, and your grandma open up your mail because that's technically her house, and your mail going there, so that's her mail now. And she gonna open up your mail and call you, be like, hey, you got this bill here that's saying, that's ancestry right there. That's how you know your ancestors working for you, because we don't think how important credit is because we're not taught about it, or we just don't really think about it, or we just get shit and just use it. So it's just like that's how you gotta think about these small things, because that's literally protection going up in your life.
Yeah, but there's also a difference between actual credit and nigga credit.
Whew.
Because nigga credit just wants something on the arm, nigga.
So to ride in so that bitch get taken back.
You're like, yo, can I hold some, player? Nigga credit, nigga want credit with a pocket full of money. Like, nah, son, why you gonna make me pay for this? We know how long we've known each other. The fuck? That's nigga credit.
Like, yeah, like if you really want a front, get your credit up to an 850, nigga.
Imagine that. Somebody asks, "Hey, bro, from your little 8, man, what's your credit score, bro?"
Yeah, bro. If you can't walk on the lot with no money and walk off the lot with a car, you can't get this 8th, my guy. Like, that's just not gonna work. Like, how do I know you got it coming? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
And that's like, and that's things of Neptune, like within the moon card, because like it relates to that Piscean energy, and that's what rules Pisces. And when I think about Pisces, that's like, in my opinion, the house of self undoing, because sometimes we do things from a deep habitual nature that we don't realize until it's too late, or we have fallen too deep to certain vices or certain actions or addictions.
It's like I was looking at this card, the moon card, and you would see like on both sides it's the same thing. Like it's a reflection of each side, and it's a reflection of top, it's a reflection of bottom, it's a reflection of left and right. Right. So I'm really looking at it, I'm saying, okay, it's representing a reflection. So how do you make it real? And I'm just thinking about motherfuckers nowadays got a problem with everybody except themselves, right? Like they walk the function like, man, y'all niggas ain't got no motion. Meanwhile, we ordered all the food, we booked the venue, you know what I'm saying? Niggas ain't putting no weed, none of them.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like, oh, y'all niggas ain't got shit going on. But it's like, dog, what you putting out, you might not look the part, but motherfuckers gonna judge you not because you ain't doing the work, because they not doing the work. And it's like once you get that, once you make that connection, bro, you would notice like all hate is projection. It's a reflection. Like a nigga can hate you, and it's like not a reflection of me. It's a reflection of you. Cause I'm on some shit where I'm like, damn, like I'm trying to find something good about you. Like your shoes ain't leaning to the left. Like you cool. You know what I'm saying? This motherfucker trying to, you know what I'm saying? I like niggas been hating, you know what I'm saying? So I have to really get into a space where like, oh, it's not a reflection of me. Like it don't have shit to do with me. And this moon card is like, and I also think about like growing up, how I wasn't on shit because I wasn't on shit. It wasn't because the world was against me, because I ain't have no daddy. It wasn't none of that shit. Motherfucker, niggas like, oh, you black as hell, Kyrie. I used to be like, yeah, reason I ain't successful because I'm dark skinned. You know this. Like, I'm a dark skinned male. You know the world against me. I can't never do it. You know what I'm saying? But that was my reflection. That was my projection. You start changing that shit on the inside. You start altering that shit out the outside. Now this shit is unlimited because that's how I programmed that shit. And I see that in the moon card right now.
Mm-hmm.
You can always tell. You can always tell when a person is projecting their hate onto you and shit, just based off of the type of hate that it is. You know what I'm
Fact.
saying? Like, you ain't spoke to this motherfucker in months of Sunday, but you got a problem with him? Like, what's really going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know this nigga from a can of fucking paint, but you know everything about this nigga life, back to front and front to back, but you don't know how you gonna pay your light bill at the end of the month. You're gonna have to make that make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, you always have to step back or take a step back when you hear the complaints of people towards other people, and especially towards you. Because you got to ask yourself, like, where's this coming from? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I didn't give you that energy, why am I receiving that energy type shit? You know what I'm saying? But you can always tell, like, niggas complaints be too specific. You know what I'm saying? And you be
Very
like,
specific.
nah, son, you projected like a motherfucker, player. Like, that's not me. That's you, player.
Yeah, yeah, nah, and it's like you can like somebody can like say some crazy shit to you, and like what Hood was saying about the venue, it's like niggas will hate it. It's like, but we booked this bitch, we got this bitch, and we pulled up with shit to sell. Like, and you talking all this shit, and you finna buy in a quick second. So it's like, for sure, you know, and you finna get served well too. That's just how it goes.
I think to all y'all points, you know, that the scarab at the bottom is holding the sun, and up top, you know, is reflecting on the moon. Kind of, you know, I kind of feel like it speaks to the sun is like who you know me as, you know what I mean? But then the moon is like those aspects of myself if I'm really walking the talk, you know what I mean? Like if I really got that integrity, you know what I mean? Because everyone could put on a good show, everyone could show up nice, you know. But I think the moon card is like revealing, you know, kind of like with a full moon. The full moon is really giving you, like, it's really showing you where you at, you know. No, what's the word? I can't think of the word, but it's showing you where you at without any asterisk by it. um, and then I think it's interesting those Hebrew letters in the middle. I don't know if that's Yod or like Lamed, but it looks like Yod to me.
You talking about the Hebrew letter is Kof.
Not right there, but like on the actual card in the middle between the two pillars.
Talking
Breeze, I
about
got you.
behind the,
I think I know what
talking
you're
about
talking
behind
about.
the moon.
Up under the moon.
Here, I'm finna show. I got you. He's talking about in the middle between the two statues. I'm finna show y'all. Get a close up on it.
Look like Yod or Lamed.
But like,
Before you get
within
into that, real quick,
go ahead.
you were saying how the sun, the scarab holds the sun, and that's a reflection of the moon. Well, we wouldn't be able to see the moon without the sun. Everything we know of the moon is just basically the sun's light being reflected. That's all that's all the moon is. The moon is the sun. That's why they are synonymous and in bed together. It's like night and day.
So it's like the expression of the heart, then, right?
I would say Kabbalistic, yes, because the sun is Tepereth. You know,
Yeah, true. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, and
It
just kind
all
of
it
how
all
they
in alignment. Kether, Doth,
right, right,
Tifereth,
yep.
Yesod. Yesod is ruled by the moon.
And this is right up under Tepereth,
Right.
reflecting that, you know, that beauty, you know,
Right.
onto that
So,
onto the humanity, I would say.
which we
You
become
know,
just the microcosm of the greater macrocosm. what I'm saying? We work the same way.
So above, so below. And within the photo we was talking about, like I said, with each card and tarot card, they're going to show the same thing but express it differently. And in my eyes, they're expressing as so above, as so below, like as Hood said with this moon card with the reflection. So it's just, I just love that beauty, and it helps us, when we read the tarot cards from start to last, we see the story that's being portrayed. So make sure you guys are doing that with your tarot cards. Make a daily schedule to study all your cards. You know what I'm saying? Study each one.
Moon Day. There is a chart for you to fill out the meaning to every tarot card. Actually, this video is a companion with it. Everything that we're talking about with these cards are literally the answer key. So go get
each
Moon
card,
Day.
each interpretation of each card is another progression.
So what you was talking about, Breeze, was you talking about these letters in the middle right here?
Yeah, and it does say dripping yards. 9 in total. That's a funny phrase, dripping yards. 9 in total. The number of the ninth Sephiroth, which is ruled by the moon. They are also in the form of the Neptune glyph. Like menstrual blood, it represents the potential seed of life sperm, which has not been fulfilled, and they are in the unfertilized womb, as we can see made from the wave patterns around the towers.
So really, that's a birth canal. That's a womb.
Yeah, kind of like, what you were saying with like everything we know about the moon is from the sun. Because at the bottom, the sun does look like the opening of a birth canal. Those two pillars could be, the thighs of a woman. Set is right there, or Anubis is right there to help you have a safe passage into reality, as we know it.
And it's fitting because it's the last card and it's the end, but the end opens you up to a new beginning and the cycle never ends. But then I think it's appropriate too because it's 9 yards and this is a 9-year and this is a year of completion, more or less.
You're talking about the 9 ether beings, yeah.
Trying to figure out what is our next transformation within this matrix, because this one is over with. We been knew that shit was over. It's 2025. It's time to move on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can't keep trying to hold this shit up.
Yeah, you can't bring all that shit with you. In order to get light, nigga, you niggas gotta get light.
Shit, no, I'm gonna throw my head in these computers and stay down here, gang, and I'll be forever. That's what all these shit is saying. That's all I hear niggas talk about AI. Be like, and that's shout out to Aquarius,
That segue us into the Emperor.
Let's go. And and most of the things that we was talking about Mars is what the Emperor embodies. So like you got like basically like a snippet of that, but this being explained is the Emperor is like it being zonified, because the Hebrew letter that sits with this is called, I'm a probably butcher it, but Tzadi, which means fish hook. And this is really helping you understand that we must really throw our fishing rod and our hook out into the sea and fish, be patient, dwell for purpose, dwell for understanding, and refine and rinse and repeat into that and create that as a discipline. But like we have to find that very thing, and that's a person who's sitting and rooted within themselves, like the king is on his throne, or the emperor, as you say.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking about the progression from the star to the moon to the emperor, um, and how it's receiving. It's almost like you start the star and you're being received in some type of capacity, um, by I'll say your vessel, if you will, and the moon is like your vessel being pushed out into this reality, and the emperor is you. Um, Understanding the power you have and understanding what's before you, in a way, I would say it's kind of like the beginning of story mode on a video game. You ready to get it going. um but to me, like, the emperor card is just straight power. The cards that represent it is the Two of Wands, Three of Wands, and Four of Wands, which is dominion, virtue, and completion. And I think it's interesting that the third deacon of Aquarius, or the third deacon of Aries, is completion when it's the first sign. I think that's interesting. Um, yeah, to me, it's just about like balancing like your power with your responsibilities, um, because you can't always handle situations how you see fit. It has to fit with the situation. It has to make sense for those around you. When you're an emperor, you can't just always go to war, and you can't always avoid it either. It has to make sense for the countless others that's around you and the countless others that may have some type of dependence on you. Um, to me, it's like being in alignment with your psychic abilities. Like I know how to help people. Just ask me a question. just come to me with a problem. You know what I mean? We're gonna solve that shit. That's how I look at the Emperor card.
Like when I think about it in succession with like the zodiac, where it goes from the star card, then it's followed by the moon, then it goes straight into the emperor. It makes me think about how like it's this Gospel of Philip verse that's talking about how you can only enter, I'm paraphrasing, but you can only enter into the kingdom through being a son. But the son then goes into SON. That's how they sell it in Gospel of Philip. Then it goes in, then I think SUN or soul or the soul, right? So it's like you can only understand this shit as if you have a soul. Because another part of the Gospel of Philip is like the material world, or Yaldabaoth. He is just creating a world where it make you think that he is in control, but he created everything imperishable. So I just think about like what's going on with all of these protests and all of these wars. And it's like people really buy into the system, but the system is the archon, the demiurge. It have encoded within it a fatal flaw. Now, where do you find a solution? Well, when you follow these tarot cards, the solution is within yourself, which the emperor thus is a result of just understanding basic metaphysics. You know what I'm saying? Because even Tazidi is a hook, but the Aquarius, I can't remember the Hebrew letter for
It's
Aquarius.
hey,
That means a hook too.
What,
They both
right?
mean
And wasn't it? It wasn't just like that big old argument how they try to switch it around and stuff and all them too. The Oracle and the Golden Dawn.
Mhm.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, like they try to switch up the Hebrew letters associated with the tarot cards, and they do that to confuse us a lot of times too. But I'm about to pull it up real quick just so I can have it on reference.
Yep,
Okay, so I
Sade.
Sadi Tzaddi means hook, right? So that gets me into the Bible verse. You should be fishers of men, which is Aquarian theme. It's like, how do you fully know yourself in this matrix? And it's like you understand yourself by the people that you are attracting, magnetizing. And then another aspect of the emperor is like people gotta really see that in you. You can't wake up in
Yeah.
the morning and say, I'm the emperor, y'all niggas, and everybody like, all
Yeah.
right, you got it, you got it, you got it. Like, no,
Mm-hmm.
everybody
It's
got
not
to
a self-proclaimed thing.
hell no. You got to put in that work. And I see it in the tarot. I see the development in the tarot through that concept of hooking, right?
And the Hebrew letter that's on Aquarius is hey, which is a window.
Mm.
And I think that, I mean, that kind of aligns with actually the stars, seeing the stars, beholding the stars. Um, but I think a window also represents you seeing a new reality for yourself.
But did you know that on the Kabbalistic tree, the emperor is on the path of hay?
Right, right.
So it's all like interconnected little symbols,
Mm.
signals on how to manifest metaphysically. And this is what the tarot and studying the tarot can help open you up so you can actually actively receive from the higher self.
Because when you really get into tarot really deep, then you understand the cards, and when you want to get into the divinatory aspects of it, right? Then you start understanding why there's so many different spreads, and why you create your own spreads, and why you build certain mindsets around spreads, or certain ritual. So you just gotta step into the rabbit hole. And the reason why I'm saying that because I see this rabbit right now. So
Mm-mm.
white rabbit psychedelics.
Type shit.
And how these cards come together in a reading, Breeze, like, was it what, like, it came in this order, right? As they
Mhm.
was throughout. Okay, that's pretty fire.
And I mean, those are the constellations the moon's transiting this week.
Right. So like,
Uh,
so this is like
so,
low key like a mini chart. So you can low key like put it
yeah,
all in a circular wheel if you needed to. But right
yeah.
now we got in just in a different shape. So like it kind of, not to get all like paradoxical on us, but like it's basically like the same thing, but same energy, different essence in a different form. Like we're just using a rectangle now instead of a circle.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty fire.
Yeah.
Serpent light, man. What?
I while we're doing this, I'm like doing shelter shit, and both of my AIs are communicating, so I'm checking up on them right now. So don't
See,
mind my
he
facial
in different
expressions.
paradox. Two AIs. Yeah, that's some Aquarian energy right there. You know, it's Aquarians really people who built the AI and social media.
Yeah, I got my son in the 11th house, so I identify with it. That's just,
Mm.
once I figured that out, that 11th house is so crucial because you want to connect and you want to be something, but you gotta just kind of do it on your own a lot of times, especially if you're in around a whole bunch of 11th house center people. And you know you want to do something, you got the sun in the 11th house or anything in the 11th house or Aquarius, it's like Aquarius, they like don't believe in themselves as much as they need to. And that be the issue. They don't believe in themselves at all. That
Whew.
should be too.
Yeah, 11th house energy over here, and real talk, like you'll have so much help from so many people around you, and it might not be like as deeply. You might not be so intimate or familiar with people, but sometimes in business it's not always like that, and you have to understand that. But you'll meet amazing people who can help you, but you feel like you just don't have the necessary boots to get yourself there or to show your value, or you don't even know your value or your worth. So you just like, yeah, I ain't really like that, but so many people that you meet every day that see greatness in you, and that's the first house thing, which was personified with the Emperor card. But go ahead, Breeze, what you pulling up right here, dog?
This is just a chart that is in Moon Day. Just relating the. It just has all the constellations, the court cards, and the tarot cards or the minor arcana cards that represent the deacons. And I just wanted to pull it up just so we can have a visual representation from Aquarius to Pisces to Aries, and just what we went over, just so we can have an actual picture of it, visual representation of it. And then also I wanted to go to one of the last pages. Uh, this page right here. Like I always say, that alchemic academic free YouTube class is a prerequisite, and I give credit to that. But when we talking about these tarot cards, you can fill this out, and make you your own chart for the major arcana. Because this is for the court cards down here. So this will be the Knight of Wands, the Knight of Cups, Knight of Swords, Knight of Pentacles, and so on. The Queen, Fire, Water, Air, Earth. And this is for you to define what it means to you. So over time, you should have your own meanings in here. So when you see these cards, you're referencing something that's coming from your spirit. Because the whole thing is about this is to, work with your spirit, develop an understanding of the symbology that's on these cards so that spirit can begin to talk to you through them. It's a technology for that specifically. And to become your own personal astrologer at the minimum. Moon Day, practical approach to astrology, now available.
The bare minimum is you becoming an astrologer. The bare minimum.
Mm-hmm. DM me, ask me any questions. What you need to know, what you want to know,
Please
or
do.
get on the
Please do.
Discord, Yeah, because my goal is just to make it as simple as possible. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who purchased a copy. There is also, like I've already said, a 33-minute video walking you step by step on how to fill out the moon chart. And yeah, I think I'll probably make the chart available if you just want to get the chart and you're just interested. For you to download the chart, and if you can figure it out on your own, that's cool. But if you can't, get Moon Day, practical approach to astrology. They got everything you need.
Don't forget, we got those Arcana sets on the Flame On shop
Oh
too.
yeah,
You
yeah,
can get
the
the
bundle.
tarot, you get the book and the tarot joint together.
Could you bring that up, AD,
That
please?
reminds me. That reminds me. I got to put that up on Moon Day. I'm gonna put it up on Moon Day too tonight. Still waiting for my Thoth Tarot decks, but yeah, I gotta put it up on Moon Day.
Yeah, man, Discord. Discord.
I heard you breathe. I was muted.
You good? I was just saying, pull up the link for the Moon Day and Tarot card bundle.
Yeah, the
I just
arcane
put it in,
collection
I
thing.
just put it in the chat. So
Yeah, and to give y'all a little game, peep how bro he created something, then he dropped a video with it. You know, you guys want to think about that for your product and what you do. I mean, like, of course, you know, everyone like, of course I know that, but like sometimes we forget those simple things and just do so much with it that we can really like bring a lot of stuff for ourselves.
there are many different ways to skin a cat, like they say, and a lot of people learn differently. You know, like I'm one of those people that I need to be doing like 5 or 6 different things to be learning. Some people need everything to be quiet, you know, dark room, just focused on one area. Like everybody learns differently. I mean, there's different forms of short form content and content that connects to one another. So video style, conversation style, then your article style, then the actual content. These are multiple streams of revenue that you can create just off of one project. And that's exactly what we're showing y'all here today.
Shay, shout out to the arcane bundle. Just really just lock in, you know, tap in. You know, man, I don't care who day, loon day, moon day, and 5, nigga. The fuck. But if anyone got any more questions, you know, the initiates is gonna walk away from the flame. Don't worry, the flame's still gonna be going. Go ahead, throw the offerings. Go ahead, step up. You know, give Ashe. You know what I'm saying? Not to us, but to yourself and a bigger purpose, because that's what we're all doing for ourselves. So, Ashe, and peace to everybody.
Peace.
Peace.
Initiates for the flame. You are now programmed to drop dem draws. Have you been maintaining your